Then I heard my dad yell from the hallway. I kicked off my sheets and rushed to the foyer. Two state troopers were standing on our porch, their expressions completely hollow. My dad was leaning heavily against the wall. "Sir, I am incredibly sorry," the taller trooper said. "There was a catastrophic multi-car collision on the I-95 overpass 2 hours ago. A cherry red Jeep Wrangler registered to this address." He stopped to look at his notepad. To Sarah Miller, the driver did not survive the fire. My stomach instantly bottomed out, but the math just didn't add up. Sarah had a massive migraine last night. She took heavy medication that always knocks her out for 12 hours straight. "My sister is downstairs in the basement bedroom," I told the troopers, my voice shaking but firm. I didn't wait for a response. I shoved past them and sprinted down the steps, the heavy boots of the cops thudding right behind me. I threw open her door. The room was pitch black, but I could hear her deep, rhythmic breathing. I slapped the wall switch. Sarah groaned, shielding her eyes from the harsh fluorescent light, completely unharmed. My dad collapsed against the doorframe, sobbing uncontrollably. Sarah sat up in her pajamas, squinting at the three men staring at her. "What is happening?" The troopers completely froze. One of them immediately grabbed his shoulder mic. "Dispatch, we have a code red complication. The registered owner is alive. Repeat, Sarah Miller is alive." We all rushed back upstairs and out to the driveway. The spot under the oak tree where Sarah religiously parked her Jeep was totally empty. There was nothing left but a small puddle of fresh motor oil. Sarah's face lost all its color. "I parked it right there after work yesterday." The trooper looked at us grimly. "The vehicle went over the concrete barrier and caught fire on the lower embankment. We identified it solely by the license plate." The silence that fell over the driveway was suffocating. Then my dad choked out the only question that mattered. "Then who the hell was driving it?" Sarah started hyperventilating. "I keep the spare key on a hook in the mudroom," she whispered, her hands shaking violently. "I never locked the side door. I just forgot." The cops corralled us into the kitchen, starting a grueling interrogation. Did she have any stalkers? Was it a random robbery? Who else knew about that hidden spare key? Sarah just sat at the kitchen island, staring blankly ahead, chewing on her thumbnail. While they talked, I pulled out my phone and opened our smart home security app. I checked the side door sensors and the motion alerts. I had a cluster of notifications from 2:15 a.m. that I had completely slept through. My throat tightened. "Guys, look at this," I choked out, interrupting the trooper. I turned my phone around and hit play on the security footage. On the screen was Jessica, Sarah's former college roommate who had been drowning in medical debt. Jessica was pacing wildly on our back porch in the dead of night, clutching a torn piece of paper, crying hysterically. She leaned into the camera, her mascara running down her cheeks. "Sarah, please wake up," she whispered into the mic. "My landlord locked me out. I have nowhere to go. I just need to drive somewhere to think. Please." She waited 3 agonizing minutes on that porch. None of us woke up. We watched in absolute horror as Jessica slipped into the unlocked mudroom, grabbed the keys off the hook, and sped off into the darkness in the Jeep. Sarah stared at the frozen screen, her breathing shallow and frantic. The trooper's radio suddenly buzzed through the quiet kitchen. Forensics had rushed the dental records. It was Jessica Thorne, 23. Sarah let out a guttural, agonizing scream and dropped to the kitchen floor. She just kept rocking back and forth, sobbing into her knees. "I was asleep," she kept repeating. "I just had to wake up." The cops eventually packed up and left, leaving us in a house that felt like a tomb. Sarah hasn't slept in that basement bedroom since. The guilt of that locked door is a nightmare none of us will ever wake up from.